had a jury summons, and I don't know, misplaced it, whatever, can't find it. Last thing I need is a contempt of court for not showing up for jury duty. So I thought, okay, I can just walk in and, just confirm the time and everything, because I thought it was today. So I go on, and I can tell that there are, like, people, like, at certain bus stops, to tell where I am, where I'm going. So I go to a different bus stop than I normally do, and this guy standing by the post office, and then I'm going out, and he's just standing by the street, and I'm standing at the bus stop on Mockingbird, and then I was like, okay, this isn't obvious. So I go and I start recording him, and then he goes running across the street right after this. So yeah, it's like I do something on his Google Pixel phone, and then there's suddenly a response. So then, I'm just riding the bus, to come down, and this guy gets on at the Kaiser station, sits across from me, and I had plugged in my phone because it was kind of low, and it had been charging before he got on the bus, and then he gets on the bus, and it's not even on. It's not on, and it just stops charging. It just won't charge at all. So anyway, I'm like, whatever. So I get off, go into the restroom, and then as soon as I get off the bus, it starts going up to like 41%. Walk over to the Marion County Courthouse, where they did the sheriff's sale last week, where they have another sheriff's sale today for, I think it's a $2 million property or something like that. The Marion County Courthouse, where you can get the, look up the court records, all that. Well, anyway, the jury summons room is there. And so, anyway, I'm walking across the street, and I'm going to turn on my phone just to see what it's at, and it literally, it turns on, or I won't turn on at first, and then it drops down to 1% and then just shuts off. It won't charge, and then it's not, as long as I'm in the courthouse, it won't charge at all. This is on my little, little portable charger thing. So then I go up to the courthouse, and I'm saying, I misplaced my jury summons, I just want to confirm the time and everything. And he said, well, there's, we don't see you on the list, but there's basically 2 other court systems. So I'm going to have to go into, make sure that I'm not putting somewhere else. So anyway, that's what I'm going to have to do in a little bit. But then I come out, and it's almost like anything around this courthouse is draining my battery. I start walking. I was going to go somewhere else, and I thought, well, I probably don't have time before. I should probably go check these other places. And then I start walking back, and my phone drops, right? It's turned on, and it turns off right away. And the phone is literally off. This hacked Google Pixel phone, but it's overheated. Just plugged in. So I looked at my other devices. It must just be tied to that hacked Google Pixel phone, because that's one of. Obviously, I'm not going to take my laptop out and go record the sheriff's sale, but that's what I have my internet connection on. So if I can't turn on the hacked Google Pixel phone, then I can't get internet to my other devices. So anyway, that's probably what it is, but it's literally like they're dropping, it's like anywhere, like around the whole courtyard, there's something targeting my phone, draining it. Not even joking. So you have to wonder, like, who has the resources to do this? And I didn't post this, but I recorded something last night, and honestly, the things that were going on yesterday, my phone did show up, the one that was taken out of my backpack, it was put somewhere where I would never put it. It's like, okay, so this is what always happens, like, I'll post, something will go missing, I post it on Twitter, it reappears, and then it's put somewhere like, oh, well, you just misplaced it. No. I am orderly, I'm not messy, and I know where I put things, especially when I know I've had people in and out of my stuff. So anyway, what had happened yesterday was By the time I realized that the phone was gone, they had already changed the password on something, right? So I posted on Twitter, and I'm like, okay, this is just showing the collusion between people you're bribing at Samaka and the criminals, right? And then it changes back so I can log in, and the thing with my email has been on Fastmail. The thing about that is that in order to switch, because I thought, well, maybe it's just the account that's screwed, and maybe if I actually subscribed to a second account and I was going to switch it over, in order to even you can't switch the domains over since it's still on Fastmail unless if you delete all the aliases and the accounts and then delete the domain and then move it over, then you can move it over to the other account. So anyway, I thought, okay, well, I'm just gonna start moving domains over. As I was working on it, they switched the password again. So I couldn't delete, I had changed the password to something from what it was before. Somehow they were still in the account and they changed it again, so I couldn't switch it. So anyway, that was just, because what I had done is when I first realized that they had gotten access to my email again, and they had the authenticator apps. So I thought, screw this. I can still get into my Cloudflare account, and I deleted anything to do with email on the DNS records. They're not gonna try to impersonate me on my own emails. So anyway, I did that, and it's like they realized, oh, this isn't going to work for us. So then I think that's when they changed it back. So I think, oh, I have control over this again. And then when I try to move it off that account, then they change it off so I can't delete it. So I'm moving away from Fastmail entirely, because what I realized was the other thing too is I was thinking, okay, when I had control over it, right? When I'm thinking I have control over it, I'm moving my accounts away from Greenbeats, and I guess the place I'm moving it to, it must bother them because they're trying to put up every obstacle they can. So, I can't to delay me moving those sites. And I had set up the transactional email for another SMTP service, and I had just set it up on Raise to Walk, but when I tried to move it over for Effusion MG, where I have my publishing, it's effusionmg.com, is my publishing website. That's where I have the propaganda and government corruption stream notes for sale, and the two, package deal with the nuclear devotional that's been plagiarized and that propaganda stream notes. So they did something so that wasn't authenticating. The emails weren't coming through. So then I tried different services just to see, different plugins to see if I could get it to go through. And one of them said, because I checked with the server company, and they said, we're showing this API is valid. That was the message I was getting. So then after I did that, it said did a test that said the email came and didn't come through. And then I sent an email from one of my own accounts to one of the email accounts on effusionmg.com. Didn't come through either. This is from Fastmail to Fastmail, so I wouldn't think that there would be any delay. They didn't come through until I sent an email to Fastmail support and asked them about it. So what I said in this, I don't know if I'm going to upload that video, but what I said in that video yesterday is that there's two choices. This part, it had nothing to do with me, my account, security issues at all. This is at a Fastmail level. So either they have a security issue and it's being the criminals, I guess they've done this before. It's like there's two accounts, like what this is on Amazon, Ingram Spark, Twitter is like that. There's like dual accounts. So even like when I go back and look at old posts that I have liked and shared, it doesn't show me personally doing it. So either they've done that on Fastmail and they're embargoing my email and letting me only see what they decide I'm going to see, or this is the thing, I checked on this in Fastmail. They're an Australian company, but they're part of the Five Eyes, and so it could be a government agency, like the government agencies that paid for a plagiarized PR effort, those government agencies. It could be that. And what makes me think that it's actually, these corrupt government agencies that are behind the majority, not all, but a lot of the issues I'm having, is this today. Who in the hell would be able to target my phone within a 1-2 block radius? Who would be able to do that? So anyway, like I said, I know how this ends, and I'm assuming that there are people who just think that, what I have faith in is just a fairy tale, that there isn't a God that would actually do anything. I'm assuming that there's probably, like, Christians out there, the ones that, have been part of this conspiracy, that have lied, taken bribes, to cover up this whole debacle. But they don't think God's going to act or call them to account. That's what I'm assuming. So, anyway, like I said, losers are always going to lose, and this is a little ridiculous at this point, but, God told me how it ends, and if I hadn't, and I've said this before, every single day of delay, more is exposed, and I would not have known that house that was sold at a sheriff's auction last week was basically stolen. Not basically, it was straight up stolen. And if you couldn't tell in the live stream I did yesterday, because I know the audio was really bad, but I basically saw evidence that the loans that were foreclosed on weren't even valid loans. One was a first mortgage that had been paid off and had been refinanced in 2008, and the other one was just like a junk recording, a duplicate of an actual loan. So anyway, I went upstairs to the Marion County DA's office and told them, and it said it was like their investigative unit and, crime division. And I said, well, I think you call this deed washing. I, have evidence that a house that was sold at a sheriff's auction was, fake, was fake loans, and it was all fraud. And the one person was like, oh, was that a crime? Is that what we do here? Like, we don't know that stealing a freaking house and mortgage fraud and fraudulent court records are crimes. I honestly don't know what is wrong with the state. It's like, the whole state's sold out. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know I don't know what's wrong with people. It's like literally like no integrity, no moral compass whatsoever. It's really kind of disgusting and a little depressing that this is my home state and how just not impressed. I mean, Texas, there's a lot of corruption, and the Attorney General has been indicted multiple times, but at least there are people that will say something when people are doing things. So anyway, that's it for today, and it's almost 10. I'm going to go see what kind of goat rodeo they have over there in a little bit, to see if they actually have that sheriff's auction and who shows up. But then I also have to try to track down and see if what I received was an actual jury summons, or who knows, it might be a scam too. I have to figure that out today. So anyway, hope you all have